championship leader down.
Hello, hello, good evening, hello and welcome here tonight to the Ricardo Tormo Circuit here in Valencia for the final showdown in the 2019 MotoGP eSport Global Series. This is it. This is the culmination of a year's hard work and preparation. We've already had all those online challenges, the Global Series double headers that we had in Misano and Aragon. And here tonight, here in Valencia, we will finally crown our champion in 2019. I can't wait to see what happens. Joining me once more to take us through this last hurrah of the season, please welcome Amy Dargan.
Good evening. As we've seen previously in the Global Series, there'll be not one but two races coming up tonight. Starting off with the fast and the furious Phillip Island circuit, and then ending with the historical Angonieto circuit in Jerez. Difference is double points are on offer tonight. Now, how's that for a potential game changer? And with us once again to talk through all of the action tonight, Matt Dunn, Jack Appleyard. Good evening, gentlemen.
Yeah, good evening, Amy. Welcome up to the commentary position for the first time this evening. And you're absolutely right. Double points tonight, which means a huge 100 on offer throughout the evening as 12 gamers try to be crowned 2019 MotoGP eSport champion. My name's Jack Appleyard. I'll be talking you through all of the action tonight. And to help me do it, my very good friend, Matt Dunn.
Oh, thanks, Jack. The last two rounds have meant a lot to me as well. And it's not just us, who of course will be bringing you the coverage as well. We'll have Danilo Petrucci up in the box, and it's not just him either. MotoGP stars galore tonight. Pol Espargaro and Jorge Lorenzo in the house as well to help us wrap up this 5-month journey.
After 6 challenges and 3 pro drafts, we arrived at the Global Series opener in Misano with 12 gamers, 9 from Europe and 3 from the rest of the world, all with high hopes of becoming champion in 2019. The Global Series kicked off in incredible fashion with AndrewZh tasting victory on home soil at Mugello before Christian MM took a comfortable win at the Red Bull Ring as drama unfolded behind him. 1 week later in Aragon, AndrewZh kept Trastevere at bay to take win number 2 of the season at Sepang, but the 2-time world champion bounced back with a last lap, last corner victory to keep himself in the title picture. Now we arrive here in Valencia for the third and final round, where double points are up for grabs at the final 2 races at Phillip Island and Jerez. 3 riders are separated by just 7 points at the top of the table, meaning a fiercely competitive 2019 series truly is wide open. This year's MotoGP eSport Championship has been the biggest and best yet, but there's still one vital thing left to do: crown our 2019 champion.
Yeah, and heading into this final event, this is how the championship lies with those 2 races that we've got here tonight in Valencia remaining. It is AndrewZh who is leading the series, but just 7 points separate the top 3 in our championship. Yeah, they can see Andrew on top. Trastevere is hot on his heels, the reigning 2-time champ, after he took victory in race 4 last time out. Christian MM, who was the early front runner in the series, is close in behind, but as Jack mentioned, double bubble could mean double trouble because anything could happen. 100 points to play for, 50 for each win. Mathematically, every single competitor has a chance to win here tonight. So, Amy, I think without further ado, we need to meet our gamers.
We absolutely do. So first up, it's our man from Down Under. He's one of the 2019 rookies, wearing the Reale Avintia colours tonight, all the way from Brisbane, Australia. Please join me in welcoming onto the stage our first gamer, Mr. TFTW.
Now let's welcome back our only Belgian. He's 24 and took a podium last time out riding a Red Bull KTM Tech 3. It's Wimp.
With a podium at the Red Bull Ring after the first 2 events, he's 4th in the current standings, looking to assert himself inside the top 3 tonight. It's 1NH.
Now, this man scored a magnificent podium in race 2. He's been an impressive rookie this year, all the way from Brazil, and riding for Pramac Racing. It's AndrewZh.
Up next, our man all the way from Indonesia. He's back in Europe and he means business, riding for LCR Honda. It's Moe.
Now, there have been a few too many crashes this season for the man in Petronas Yamaha colours. Hopefully he can cut those out tonight. Another of our Spaniards out racing. It's Bomber 45.
He's been edging his way towards the podium since the start of the 2019 Global Series. Can he make it happen tonight? Please welcome Eli Ghost 555.
It's been a tough Global Series so far for our next competitor with a best of 7th. Can he change it up this week? Racing the Aprilia, it's our Yorker.
Another one of the men to be inching towards a rostrum finish. It's the first of our 2 Suzuki brothers from Spain, Adrian DP26.
There's a lot of support for these two tonight. Here is his brother who led the Global Series after the Misano doubleheader. He's also riding a Suzuki, Christian MM.
Next up, he's been a revelation this year, dominant in qualifying. He's the man with the most wins and, more importantly, comes here leading the championship standings, AndrewZh.
And looking to topple him is the reigning 2-time world champion, well in the hunt again this evening. He got back on the victory trail last time in Aragon. Please welcome from Monster Energy Yamaha, Trastevere. So Trastevere, there he is, the last of our 12 gamers taking part in the final showdown in the Global Series. He's brought the trophy back with him as he gets himself settled. Can he ensure tonight that he takes the trophy back with him to Italy? We will find out soon enough if he can do so. Lots of competition to come throughout the evening. And it's not just a trophy, actually, that the winner would be taking back if they were to run out successful this weekend here at Valencia. There's a whole raft of prizes up for grabs. The top 3 in the championship all get that fantastic Red Bull experience at Hangar 7 in Austria, while 3rd place in the championship takes home a brand new Lenovo Legion gaming laptop. And we've got all the prizes here to tease the riders. You can see 2nd place takes home a brand new Yamaha R3, with our overall winner securing this BMW M140i. What a chance for all of our gamers here tonight. That car surely is the main target for everyone. But tonight, they've got to race after qualifying took place last night. Jack and Matt, how did that go?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Gav. Two 15-minute qualifying sessions took place yesterday. And talking about prizes, we've still got the Tissot Poleman Award to give away as well. So let's find out how they got on our first circuit, Phillip Island.
And for the 2nd time this season, meaning the Tissot Prize will go down to the final qualifying of the year. Trastevere clinched pole position thanks to a late-time attack.
The 2-time champion will launch from the front row alongside Adrian DP26 aboard the Suzuki and current series leader Ducati's AndrewZh.
Meanwhile, the 3rd of the leading title protagonists, Christian MM17, will start 5th after coming together with AndrewZh on his final flying lap, just to add some extra spice to our first race of the evening.
Not that we needed any more though, Matt, but yeah, it was quite an interesting qualifying session yesterday. You can see Trastevere on his final flying lap there, which was good enough to take pole position in the end by over a 10th of a second. As we mentioned, joined on the front row by Ducati's AndrewZh. Another good qualifying performance from Wimp, the Belgian rookie, alongside Christian MM17 and Juan NH on row number 2. Row 3, Mr. TFTW, best qualifying result for him, Eligos 555 and Moe. And the final row of the grid, Rioja, Bomber 45 and Moreira.
So we have our first grid set for the evening, but to give our gamers a little inside scoop of what it's really like to take on the Phillip Island circuit, here's Red Bull KTM's Pol Espargaro to show us how it's done.
It's together with maybe Austria, where we have all the crew, is the place I love most to ride. This track is different. It's in the middle of nothing, very close. We have the sea, we have waves to surf, a lot of wild animals, and yeah, it's different from other places. Yeah, it's a very fast track where you need to be very precise because the track is very fast and it's not so wide, it's quite narrow. And there is a lot of places where you cannot see the exit of the corners, so you need to be really precise while you are driving super fast. It was in 2012 when Marquez took the World Championship in Moto2. We were fighting during all the year. I took this race very seriously, and I think I took the biggest gap to the second in Moto2 ever in the history. It was in that track. I think I took 24 seconds to the second, and I was flying. I was enjoying every single corner of that track, and I have enjoyed so much that year. Phillip Island have two sides. You know, if you like the track and you are fast there, as I think I'm used to be, it's a track where you love. But if you don't like this track, or for whatever reason you are not fast there, you suffer so much during the race weekend, because you need to put a lot of yourself and to risk a lot to be fast on this track. So if you're not comfort, all this track becomes so tricky for you. I don't know. They are like, look, they don't need to crash as I did now. No, they are lucky they don't have wind and birds around. But I tell them that enjoy now, because maybe in the future they will have wind and birds, and then it's going to be much more tricky, this track.
I'm not sure if they've quite written the seagulls into the end. Definitely no seagulls in the auditorium tonight. The only climate issues might be the dry ice that we've got flowing around the place. But as Jack and Matt mentioned before, we have some MotoGP stars in the house. So please welcome onto the stage the man himself from the Red Bull KTM factory racing team. It's Pol Espargaro. How are you, Paul? Yeah. Good to see you. Are you well? I just noticed there a little bit of a slip on your lap. Oh, it's different, isn't it? Playing on the computer to playing on the motorcycle itself. But do you still enjoy it? You a bit of a gamer?
Yeah, it was embarrassing to see the video me playing in front of these guys. It was pretty embarrassing. But no, for me it's much more difficult to play on PlayStation than in real. So these guys have real talent.
You've obviously given your thumbs up to your man over there, 1NH, representing Red Bull KTM this weekend. He's already picked up a podium this year. He's starting from the second row of the grid. Any last-minute tips?
Just he asked me. He's a little bit nervous now, but you know, Juan is fast. We are following always in the energy station when he's driving, and when he did the podium, we were all very happy. So. No tips. I mean, he knows much better than me what to do right now, so just very good luck.
You sometimes get very excited as a racer. Juan gets excited too, doesn't he?
Yeah, that is the key. This is passion. This calls passion. I have passion for motorbike and he for gaming. It's the same one at the end.
Paul, we are so grateful that you've shown us around Phillip Island. I hope you enjoy the racing. I'm sure you want to give Juan some luck tonight.
Yeah, sure. He knows I will be behind him, and all the team is behind him, because this is team support. So, yeah, we are going to cheer for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a massive round of applause, please, for Pol Espargaro. And while Paul makes his way to watch this one, Amy, I think we need to get racing, don't you?
We absolutely do. I'm ready.
Matt and Jack, over to you.
Thank you very much, Gav. Thank you, Amy. And thank you very much, Paul, as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Remember, double points up for grabs. 50 up for grabs in this one. I think it's about time that we go racing at Phillip Island. Right, so here we go. Strap yourselves in. Race one of the evening. 100 points up for grabs throughout the course of tonight. This surely is going to swing the championship possibly one way or another. This is your front row of the grid for this opening race of the evening, with double champion Trastevere joined by Adrian DP26 and AndrewZh.
On to row two then, we have Wimp, the Belgian of the field, and also the rookie as well. We have Christian MM17. What can he do from fifth on the grid there? And of course, running out that, just heard a lot about him. It's 1&H on that Red Bull KTM.
On home soil, it's the best qualifying of the Global Series for Mr. TFTW. Repsol Honda's Ellie goes 555 there on row three as well. And rounding it out, Indonesia's Moe.
On to the final row, it's Rioja on the Aprilia in the middle of the front row with Bomber 45. He needs to stay on this race on that Petronas Yamaha. And then rounding out the back of the grid, it's Moreira, the Brazilian.
It won't bother him though, he's already got a podium finish from last on the grid so far this season. So 3 riders separated by 7 points at the top of the championship. Race 1 of the Global Series finale is underway, and it's a storming start from pole position by Monster Energy Yamaha's Trastevere. A short run down to turn 1. He looks as though he's got it covered, but here comes Adrian DP26 trying to squeeze up the inside, but the door slammed shut on him by Trastevere.
Oh, we saw what drama happened down here at the turn 2 and the real race we have there, and there's drama there as well as Adrian DP26 buffs Trastevere out the way. There's drama already as they head down towards Stoner Corner.
Well, the older brother of Christian MM17 hasn't even been on the podium so far this season, but on the opening lap here at Phillip Island, he is leading it.
Oh, they're wild and way too wide down at turn 4. They're definitely wild. I got a bit confused by the reckless riding notification coming up there, but all sorts of lines being taken there. AndrewZh getting buffed there as well.
I think that was Christian MM17. He's had to come through from the second row of the grid, but he's had a storming first lap. Here comes AndrewZh though, the series leader, trying to squeeze through. Nearly puts his title protagonist on the grass.
At the Hayshed, that is not a place you want to be going anywhere near to offline. We've seen so many crashes there before. Oh, someone is off. Is that Bomber 45? Oh, he's down. Will he take anybody else with him? I hope not. But how many times have we seen that sort of thing? Over Lukey Heights. Trastevere is going to lead, coming out onto the front straight at the end of the first lap.
Meanwhile, our series leader, AndrewZh, has been duffed up on the first lap. He started from third on the grid. He's down in fourth. Meanwhile, his closest rival, just 4 points adrift in the championship, is away with it at the front. Trastevere leads after lap 1.
Definitely saw your championship leader there, AndrewZh, going a little bit over track limits on the edge there. That rear tyre spinning up. Got to be careful. You can lose it. Oh, who was that looking up the inside there? Andrea DP26. We're riding on board with him. Can he do anything about that Yamaha as we go down on the run towards Stoner Corner?
Well, we're only on to lap 2 at the moment, but already, Matt, will Adrian DP26 do his brother a favour? Christian MM17 is only 7 points away from leading the championship. Adrian DP26, meanwhile, a huge 34 behind. Surely he's not going to move over to one side and let his brother through.
Oh, I don't know. Only those guys know exactly what conversations have been going on in the lead up to this sort of weekend. But it's the 2 Suzukis, positions 2 and 3 at the moment. Trastevere holding firm out front. Well, it's got shades of near about a month ago, doesn't it, really, watching down at Phillip Island? It's a real, of course, rider's favourite circuit. I'm pretty sure it must be the same with these guys here as well. He's
certainly got a flavour of last time we had some eSport action at Aragon, where Trastevere won race number 4 of this 6-race championship. He was pushed all the way by AndrewZh on that occasion, went right down to the final lap and the final corner. At the moment, there's a shed load of work to do for AndrewZh if he wants to put himself in a similar position. Down in 4th, that's the live championship standings at the moment then, as they come across the line to complete lap number 2. There's still a long way to go, but as it stands, a 20 points advantage for Trastevere with just 1 race remaining later this evening.
Well, I tell you what, Jack, this is a real timely performance. Moreira, that's going to be no heroics for him from the back of the grid. He's gone down out of 11th place there. But I tell you what, yes, as I was saying, a timely performance from Trastevere, the double world champion, leading very well indeed, and a fast lap there from him that time around as well. He's pulled out half a second from Adrian DP26.
And this is going to plan for Trastevere at the moment. We've had 4 races so far, and every single time the man that started from pole position has gone on to take victory. It's so vital on the opening lap that you stay out of trouble, and that's exactly what Trastevere was able to do. Meanwhile, we're on board now with the Ducati of AndrewZh all over the rear wheel of Christian MM17. He knows he needs to get himself onto the podium at least if he's to try and keep his championship hopes alive.
So many different line choices as well. You can really see it through turn 4 as well. It looked like Adrian DP26 and Trastevere kept a really nice tight line through there. They seem to be doing that on the Yamahas and the Suzuki. And we remind you, of course, that all these bikes, the performance is exactly the same. It's not like a Ducati rides like the Ducati out there on the track here at Valencia as well.
The only thing that will make a huge difference is tyre wear. New for 2019, these guys can push to the limit during the opening laps, but they have to be careful that they don't chew up the Michelin rears that they've got on board their machines. We saw on a couple of occasions, actually in rounds 1 and 2, where that man there, AndrewZh, his worst result of the season was when he finished 8th at the Red Bull Ring. That's because he opted for the soft rear tyre. As we got into the closing stages, he was unable to stay with the pace of the leaders.
Well, I'll tell you who, the one man who is really setting the pace, though, Trastevere, pulling out even more of a gap there, though. It's come down in that first sector of this lap around. Lap 4 we are. Now watch the line differences as we're breaking down into the hairpin here. What is AndrewZh able to do? He's really able to close up, but too much. He hits the back of Christian MM17. Got to be careful there. Don't wipe him out. Don't get done by Mike, the race director, for reckless riding. Mike rules with an iron fist, as you well know.
Certainly does. You'll only have a couple of warnings for irresponsible riding, and I'm sure that Mike will have watched that one very closely. Meanwhile, at the front of the race, Trastevere just ever so slightly wide there. It's not really giving Adrian DP26 that much of an advantage. The gap just remaining at over 0.4 of a second.
Oh, they're just swirling through around Lukey Heights. AndrewZh all over the back of Christian MM17 there. Will he be able to be in the slipstream zone down the front straight, though? I did see last time around, Christian MM17 definitely was in striking range of his brother, but for whatever reason decided against it down into turn 1. But let's see, we're on the run out on the straight here. Great drive, but it seems that AndrewZh has got, he's in the slipstream, he's making a move past her on Trace Cam. They are neck and neck down into turn 1. He's made the pass. Who breaks first? Well, certainly wasn't AndrewZh.
He managed to squeeze his way through. Christian MM17 looking for an audacious move around the outside. You're not going to do that at turn 1 at Phillip Islands, but you might be able to if you're brave enough. But on that occasion, couldn't find a way through, so a change at the final podium place at the moment then. 5 laps completed. AndrewZh gets himself up into 3rd place, and look how much of a difference that makes to the live championship standings.
Blimey, yes, minus 14 points for him.
There
He's
he
got
goes
the inside again. Oh, he moves him out the way, but will it be enough on the run down into towards turn 6? No, he holds the inside line, does the Suzuki rider. Great racing here in the final round we have here. How about that for defending? Oh, AndrewZh offline. He loses a bit of time. He's been accused of reckless riding. Be careful. Mike rules with an iron fist.
Onto the grass was AndrewZh, and as a result, he not only lost 3rd place, but he's now got wimp all over his rear wheel. All of that hard work that he did on half a lap to not only get past Christian MM17, but then close right in on his brother Adrian DP26, gone to waste. Here's a replay of it. You can see Adrian DP26 well within his rights, just to push him out a little bit wide, and AndrewZh didn't have any room onto the grass, and as a result, lost all of his drive. And suddenly he's back down in 4th place, and he's got it all to do again.
Masterfully defending his line he was, and as we come across the home straight again, we start lap 6. I was having a look at Wimp there on that Tech 3 KTM. These guys get too messed up. What happened there? Oh, Christian MM17, he's gone way wide at turn 1. He's lost several places there. Was that the brothers?
I think it was, trying to come together. Christian MM17 was looking for a move up the inside of his older brother Adrian DP26, who slammed the door shut on him, and as a result he got it sideways going into the opening corner. Somehow he managed to hold on to it, but he has been dropped down to 5th place as a result. And as all of this action continues for 2nd and 3rd place, it means that Trastevere is escaping at the front.
Here's what happened at turn 1. Oh, Christian MM17, you saw a little twitch from that front wheel. He nearly went down. Very fortunate across the grass as well. And managed to hold the grip rather well there. Excellent stuff. Not even the sort of thing you can practice for either.
So at the moment then, AndrewZh sat in 3rd place. That's the man that we're focusing on. If things stay as they are, and as we've seen, that can change pretty quickly. He will be 14 points behind his compatriot Trastevere. And I tell you what, you've just got to take your hat off for Trastevere. Not only a double world champion, but he comes into the Global Series this year with all of the pressure of being the only man that's signed to a factory team, Monster Energy Yamaha. but he's managed to deal with the pressure. He had a difficult start, took him 4 races to pick up a victory, but now that it matters here in Valencia with double points up for grabs, he's pulling clear at the front of the race.
Yeah, this is a super impressive performance, Jack. I really got to hand it to him, but it's not over yet. You can't make any sort of mistakes. We know just how easy that can be around this Phillip Island circuit, but at the moment, he's holding that 1.5 second lead out in front. There is Trastevere. AndrewZh still got time to claw it back. Still one more race, of course. Still all to play for. All it takes, one mistake, someone else getting involved in an accident, running offline, and that could be your race completely turned on its head. What can AndrewZh do down into turn 4? Nothing this time on Adrian DP26.
And of course, the final race of tonight coming from Jerez, where turns 1 and 2 are going to be pretty dramatic, I would imagine, on that opening lap, especially into turn 2. There's going to be some fair lunges moving in, with people desperate to try and pick themselves up some valuable points in this championship chase. Meanwhile, we've got, 3.5 laps remaining here at Australia, race 5 of the 6-race Global Series. Trastevere out front, over 1.5 seconds clear, with Adrian DP26 at the moment able to hold off the advances of AndrewZh, but how long will that last? Because the pressure is certainly mounting on the Suzuki rider's shoulders.
Oh, totally. You do wonder what AndrewZh's tactics are. Is he going to sit behind him? Does he think that Trastevere's gone? That lead has dissipated away from him. That chance of winning and extending a lead in the live championship has gone. Will he make a move on Adrian DP26? Well, he certainly looks like he's about to. He's in the slipstream, but is he close enough this time? No. Superb breaking down into turn 1 from the Suzuki.
Bit of a surprise that Christian MM17, having made that mistake into turn 1, at the moment hasn't really been able to close in on Wimp ahead of him. He's currently 5th, which of course means he will pick up, 22 points, with double points up for grabs. So he could probably do with trying to get in front of the Belgian rookie if he can, but time is starting to run out.
I'll tell you what, Jack, I can hear a couple of the members of the audience getting a bit confused by the camera angles there. They caught me out last year. I'm too wise to it now. But we are looking back then from the number 26 Suzuki. AndrewZh breathing down his neck. Wimp is incoming as well. Who has saved their tyres the best coming into these final couple of laps?
Certainly looks like Trastevere is comfortable at the front. If anything, he's been able to eke out another 10th of the second as the laps start to tick away. But AndrewZh, he closes in so much on the brakes, but so far Adrian DP26 has been defending like a demon. No way through, no gaps for him to try and push his way through either, so things stay as they are with soon to be 2 laps remaining.
Oh, he's absolutely fixed on the screen. I was wondering whether they're even blinking. I've not seen Adrian DP26 blink for some time, that's for sure. Absolutely no question of the focus there. These guys giving it absolutely everything they've got. We start the penultimate lap here of race 1 of the final round here in Valencia, and then neck and neck down into turn 1. Who's going to get it? Who's going to yield first? Well, it seems to be AndrewZh. He's got no choice because Adrian DP26 masterfully holds the inside line.
It's smart racing from Adrian DP26, moving to the inside, forcing AndrewZh to go around the outside if he wants to take second place away, as we head towards turn number 3 now, and then turn 4. I'm sure we'll see him once again just edge towards the outside of the track, not to leave a gap for AndrewZh. Although here he comes.
I thought he was. He's so wide then. Oh, Wimp nearly takes him out. Oh, that was overly ambitious from AndrewZh, and then even more so from the Belgian rider. But look at his face, he hasn't even blinked.
There we go. Reckless riding going the way of Wimp. He'll only get a couple of warnings before a penalty is slapped on his wrist. Meanwhile, that mistake from Wimp closing in onto the rear wheel and creating a bit of contact with this man AndrewZh has meant that he's lost out on 4th place. Christian MM17 aboard the Suzuki, now back up to 4th. But was that audacious move that AndrewZh was trying to pull off into turn number 4, lost his opportunity of trying to take second?
I've got to say though, Jack, I don't think so. He's really able to recover superbly. He's already right on the back of the Adrian DP26 once again, as we're now coming around the final corner. It's all about that drive as we come on the home straight. One more lap to go then as Trastevere crosses the finish line. AndrewZh has made a move past. He's got him, but can he hold that line? Has he overtaken him enough? Oh no, he hasn't. Oh, superb. Oh! He's gone down.
Adrian DP26 took to the front into turn number 1. He was on course for a first podium finish of the season, but he crashes out on the final lap, and AndrewZh has been gifted second place, and as a result it means that as things stand, only 6 points will separate Trastevere and AndrewZh with 1 race remaining.
So, well, it's not over yet because Christian MM17 is right on his tail as well, and we've still got many more corners to negotiate as well, but this one locked up by Trastevere, it seems, if there are no mistakes from him. Moret has gone down again. That's been a disastrous race for him, unfortunately, but how about this? I was saying how much it could change oh so quickly with these guys. Through the hay shed we go, and now on towards Lukey Heights.
Here we go, one last time over the top of Lukey Heights. Trastevere leading the race by over 2 seconds now. He's just got to keep it nice and simple through this final sector, and it'll be win number 2 of the season for the double world champion. But who is going to take second place? Will it be the Ducati of AndrewZh, or can Christian MM17 somehow muster up a late move? It looks unlikely. Trastevere's out of the final corner. It's going to be victory number 2 of the season, and the World Championship lead with 1 race to go for Monster Energy Yamaha's Trastevere. AndrewZh holds on to second place, and Christian MM17 back onto the podium. Goodness gracious me, Matt, we have got 6 points separating the top 2 riders in the championship with 1 race left.
Well,
you couldn't
I've got to
write
say,
it.
it's all about the win at that next one. Jerez, it all goes down to them, doesn't it? Got to get that win, absolutely. Nothing less will do with these double points. How about that? I'm exhausted already.
Certainly was. Obviously a couple of reckless riding warnings going in there as well, so we'll just have to wait and see if Mike does hand out any penalties at the moment. But one thing we do know for certain, that man right there stayed out of trouble, picked up victory number 2 of the season, and now leads the championship. Trastevere making it count when it matters.
Gotta say, that is why he is the double world champion. Will he become the triple world champion here tonight? Well, he's still got it all to do, of course. It is absolutely not guaranteed, as we saw in the closing stages of that race.
We saw Trastevere there. I'm sure he'll be quite pleased in the end to have been able to pick up second place. It looked at one stage like he might have to settle for 4th place. He was desperate to make a move, and in the end, just taking advantage of a late crash from Adrian DP26. But let's remind you of exactly what happened in that opening race. Here are the highlights from race 1 at Phillip Island.
Well, it was very tense on the grid, and it did not let up at all either as the race went on. A great start from Trastevere and Adrian DP26, who, of course, played such a faithful role in the eventual outcome.
As we've seen on 4 other occasions this season, the man that started from pole position took the whole shot and then went on to take victory. Trastevere just about holding off Adrian DP26, despite the Spaniard trying a late lunge up the inside.
It was extremely dramatic on that first lap over at the hay shed. Moves aplenty, and some questionable ones as well. Reckless riding moves handed out. There's Bomber 45 getting all squirrely, snaky, all down into the turn number 10 there, and down he went. That was his race over pretty much. Here was one of those slipstreamy moves we saw from AndrewZh going up the inside of Christian MM17.
Unfortunately for the Ducati man though, he would later make a mistake. We saw him drop back to 4th place, but both Suzuki brothers, first Christian MM17 and then Adrian DP26, made mistakes which allowed him to eventually take second place. Trastevere though, super impressive at the front of the race, almost 2 seconds clear in the end.
Yes, and this was the pivotal move that meant that the championship will go fully down to the wire. Very close it is indeed now with AndrewZh. Pretty much gifted that podium, but can't take anything away from this man. He was the class of the field down under in Australia.
And the world champion puts himself in pole position to make it 3 on the bounce here in Valencia. Now 6 points clear with 1 race remaining. But you can be guaranteed that AndrewZh aboard the Ducati will have something to say about it. Here are the final results then from race number 1. As we know, Trastevere taking win number 2 of the season, ahead of AndrewZh and Christian MM17. Wimp, 1NH and Mr. TFTW, you've got to take your hat off for him. That's the best result of the season by some margin for the Australian. 7th went the way of Eligos 555, ahead of Moe, Adrian TP26, Riorca, Bomber 45 and the Brazilian rookie, Moreira.
How about that then, Jack? Exhausted already? Well, there's not going to be much time to wait, is there, before we get underway with the final race of the season?
Certainly not. Let's head back down to Gav and Amy then, because before we get underway for race number 2, I certainly, and I'm sure you do as well, need a bit of a breather.
I bet you do, boys. Well done on that one. What a harum-scarum race that was. We got in race 1 here in Valencia. Trastevere, the reigning champion. He's come good, hasn't he? 1 race for, and he now has taken victory in race 5. And that means he is now top of the championship. He takes the lead. He's moved on to 124 points ahead of AndrewZh, who led coming here. But just the 6 separating the 2 Italians with 1 race to come and 50 points available in that race. Christian NMM is still lurking there, still in with a shout to the championship. It's between those 3 who will be crowned our eSport champion in 2019. You can see Juan NH picking up points there. He's in 4th, still ahead of Wimp, who of course got that little nudge at the end that made him drop a position. Ellie Ghost is there in 6th. Adrian DP26 I've seen up here on stage. He's furious with what happened when he went out in the latter stages there. Moe in 8th, Malaysia is in 9th, and then we've got Aryorka, Mr. TFTW, and a crash early on for Bomber 45. But it is Trastevere, the 2-time world champion, who wins his 2nd race of the season, and I believe Amy is with him.
That's right, Gav. Congratulations, Trastevere, for that really important first win of the evening. Of course, that means you now lead the championship standings, but you haven't had it all your own way so far this season. You must be relieved to get that first one in the bag.
Yeah. I want to return. This race was very difficult because when you are alone in front, it's difficult to keep now the concentration. And the qualifying was important yesterday, very important. The start in the race was fantastic today, and it's not finished yet. We are very close. Mandzukic, Christian, Andrew and me, very close. So in Jerez I will start in 4th position. Will be difficult. The start is the most important thing, the 70%.
Well, listen. Good luck for race 2, and he's absolutely right, Gav. It's all still to play for. Anything can happen here tonight.
You're absolutely right, Amy. So as Trastevere and the rest of our field take a bit of a breather, try and catch their breath. Before this evening began, we spoke to some of the MotoGP stars about if they were playing a game, which of the legends they would prefer to play with. Who would you choose?
Valentino Rossi with the old bike was really nice with the 500. So yes, if I need to take another one, maybe I will take Kenny Roberts.
I stay with Kevin when he become a world champion. I will play with Kevin with the Lucky Strike Suzuki. But also I like a lot Wayne Rainey, that is also with the Yamaha. So or Rainey or Schwanz, like.
Maybe I choose Daijiro Kato if they have, because Daijiro Kato is my idol. So why not? I want to try with him.
When Rainey, Duhan, it would be unbelievable to I would choose them. But in the past, I remember I was playing with Alex Barros, and otherwise I would choose Duhan for sure. He's the legend of MotoGP.
Kevin's fan, my father gave me that passion for him, because when he raced, it was so nice to see him fighting. And I always race with the number 34 when I race in the pocket bike or motocross for him, and especially because my father loved him. I always pick Gary McCoy. Gary McCoy on the Red Bull 500, I loved it. It was, the King of Slide. I was a fan of Gary's back in the day, so it was a lot of fun. Try to get it sliding like Gary does.
Oh, Gary McCoy and Jack Miller, from one Aussie larrikin to another, Amy. You might not remember Gaz as much as I do, but I tell you what, he was the Jack Miller of his day. Maybe Jack's the Gary McCoy of this present era, definitely. Yeah, fantastic.
Well, at least you admitted it anyway. Anyway, it's time to start building up for the final race of the 2019 Global Series. The tension for these guys is about to get turned up a notch. So without further ado, let's head on back to Jack and Matt.
Thanks a lot, Amy. Yes, before the final race of the season gets underway, I think it's probably time we should take you back to last night, where we had, of course, the formation of the last grid of the year. So here we have the highlights from qualifying.
And the final pole position of 2019 went the way of AndrewZh, despite a late charge from Christian MM17 in Jerez.
Yeah, third pole of the year means the Italian wrapped up the Tissot prize, but he was pushed hard by both the Suzuki of Christian MM17 and the Belgian rookie, Whip.
Trastevere will front row number 2 of the grid as he tries to hold on to his 6-point championship lead, but the top 4 were separated by just over 1/10 of a second, meaning that, as if we needed any more drama, we're going to be in for an absolute belter to bring the Global Series to its conclusion. So here's your pole man then, AndrewZh, just under 1/10 clear of Christian MM17 with Wimp on the front row with him. Trastevere, Juan in H16, and Ellie goes 555 on row 2, with Adrian DP26, Moe and Mr TFTW on row 3, with the final row of the grid, Ryorka, Bomber 45 and Mareja. But our pole man, and as a result, the Tissot pole man winner thanks to his 3rd of the season, AndrewZh.
Yeah, well, that is the stage is set, of course, but all that to come very, very shortly.
Talking of which, to hand out this year's Tissot Poleman's Award, we have a very special guest joining us tonight. Please join me in welcoming onto the stage Repsol Honda's Jorge Lorenzo.
Good evening, Jorge.
And of course, our absolute star poleman this year, AndrewZh. You have been amazing this year, so dominant. Please go and accept your Tissot watch from Jorge Lorenzo. He's been brilliant, guys. He's had 3 poles this year, Mugello, Sepang and Jerez.
Let's have a massive round of applause.
Thanks, Andrew.
Great moment for Andrew. If you want to get yourself ready for race 2, we want to have a quick word with Jorge. Fantastic scenes. Well done to Andrew on taking his Tissot Pole Award. Jorge, we thank you so much, though, for joining us to hand out that award here, because we know it's a special, it's a sad weekend for all of us. I'm sure everyone here will agree that you announced your retirement here. But do you know what? Having seen you afterwards and seen you today out on track, it looks like you're looking good, you're feeling good, and maybe your weight has been lifted off your shoulders.
Well, a little bit. I'm a little bit faster, but not so much. Not so much. Still on the back of the positions, unfortunately, no. But yeah, I feel a little bit better from my injuries in this race. I reduced a little bit the gap to the fastest, so hopefully tomorrow I can do another step, and for Sunday help the team to achieve this triple crown that is still possible.
Jorge, have you been really overwhelmed by the response from everyone? Overwhelmed, like, can you believe the reaction to the news that you...
It was fantastic. It was fantastic, you know, to see all the press conference so crowded and was full, no? Was full, and all the love and respect that everyone in the paddock showed me during these 2 days is amazing and makes me feel very proud, very grateful, and has been yesterday has been a fantastic and beautiful day. So hopefully also tomorrow and especially on Sunday will be.
It will be for all of us to watch you for a final time, and who knows, maybe in the future, a 6th world title in eSports. It's possible, you know, that could always happen, couldn't it? Who knows?
Yeah, I always loved to play PlayStation from I was a kid. I remember playing in my mother's house till 7 a.m., like 7 or 8 hours in a row. My mother always shouted at me to go sleep, but I didn't. Then I start playing much less, obviously, because I have some other interest in life. Yeah. But yeah, I keep playing MotoGP game, some other games, and yeah, always very competitive. Always like to win. So yeah, good luck everyone. I think you are very nervous now, like it's normal. So yeah, enjoy the race.
And good luck to you, Jorge. We appreciate so much you being here this evening, and we hope you have a fantastic last race in MotoGP. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a massive round of applause for Jorge Lorenzo. Thank you, Jorge. Right, so as Jorge leaves us here tonight, Amy, it's that moment, isn't it? It's race 2 time. You can feel the tension here in the auditorium. I think it's time to cross over to Matt and Jack, who also have another very special guest.
Yeah, we certainly do, Gav. From one MotoGP star to another. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along. Helping us commentate for this Global Series decider, Ducati's Danilo Petrucci.
Hello everybody.
Well, hey, thank you, Danilo, for not making us look too small. It's a very easy task to do. Are you a gamer yourself?
Yeah, I like. For sure, not the level of these riders. They are unbelievable. I cannot replicate my lap time in real life, so they are 5-6 seconds faster. So it's incredible.
Let's just remind ourselves of what the championship looks like then, Danilo, because your man 6 points behind going into this final race. Have you got any last words of advice for him?
Yeah, I was following the race in my office, and the last lap was a drama, but yeah, it helps to keep the championship open. So I'm not the right person to say a good word before a race.
So that's how the championship looks then. 3 riders in contention. We've got Trastevere at the front, 6 points adrift is AndrewZh with Christian MM17, a further 21 back. It's all to play for. I think it's time for one last time to go racing in Jerez. So here we go, it's time to crown our champion at Jerez. Danilo, we know this opening sector at Jerez is so tight, so especially in eSports as well, there's going to be plenty of drama. How would you say is best to navigate your way through that opening sector?
Jerez is always very, very difficult, especially the first 2 corners. They are very, very tight, and especially the second one is an hairpin. And especially all the track is quite tight. So I think first 2 corner and also turn 6 at the end of the back straight will be a little bit of mess. Hopefully no one can get out, but for sure will be tough.
Would you say you'd rather be on the inside or the outside into turn 2?
It's better always to be on the inside than crossing the track for going through the corner 3, because then there is turn 4 very, very open. So let's see.
So here we go. Your man starts from pole position. AndrewZh firing away from the front of the grid for the 3rd time this season. And once again, it looks as if he's got a dynamite start. But look at that. Christian MM17 from the middle of the front row swoops across him and takes the lead in this Global Series decider. Here we are then on the way down to turn number 2. This is where Danilo said that carnage might ensue. But so far, so good. All 12 of the riders just about get through, apart from Moreira, just having a little slip off at the back of the field. But it's our 3 main title protagonists at the front of the field. Christian MM17 leading from AndrewZh, with Trastevere coming through from row number 2 of the grid to settle into 3rd.
You really could not have asked for a better setup for a finale race here at the MotoGP eSports World Series. Christian MM17, well, he weaved all over the shop like a Moto3 race. It was absolutely ridiculous. Here we are into turn 6. So easy to outbrake yourself, but these guys look as though they mastered it perfectly. How difficult is that, Danilo?
Yeah, very, very difficult, because it's the first lap. You have to understand where it breaks, but they are really, really good. They are all in line, so no mess at the moment. But yeah, now just the first lap of 10, the championship is quite tight at the moment.
It's everything on the line. As it stands, it would be AndrewZh who takes the win. Oh, it's bad news for Juan and H16. He has gone down, pretty much out of, well, contention, it seems then, as we see Christian MM17 making way out front. It is so close. It could be an even closer finish in the overall championship as well. Oh, AndrewZh very wide at the final turn.
Well, Christian MM17 is doing all that he can man at the front of the race. He just had to go out and win the race and hope that there was a little bit of drama behind him. At the moment, it's yet to kick off with AndrewZh just settled into a comfortable second place. Trastevere, meanwhile, all the pressure is on his shoulders because he is the one that has to make the moves if he wants to win this championship. He knows that if AndrewZh finishes in front of them as they are now, he won't be picking up a third straight title.
It really is all on the line. It's going to have to be a sort of win it or bin it attitude from all the guys at the top of this series. But everyone looking very calm. Jack, I'm so surprised. Everyone's so calm. I thought it's for the last race of the season. Everyone's going to go crazy.
I'm surprised by that, Danilo. I would have thought there would have been some more bigger moves been thrown in.
Yeah, I always follow the previous races, and they are always in group. But now I think the pace from Christian MM17 is really hard to follow. So they are pushing a lot. I see many riders going a little bit wide for braking order, but I think the Christian MM17 is doing a really good job.
Meanwhile, Trastevere, the man that has all the impetus behind him if he wants to win this championship. When you sat there in third and the man in front of you, you have to beat if you want to be champion. What's going through your head? Because surely you don't want to throw it away with a mistake in these opening laps.
Yeah, it must be very difficult because, as you say, Trastevere had to make a move. In this moment, I think Andrew, our rider, is just getting closer to Christian MM, but Trastevere at the moment is a little bit far.
Yeah, it seems so he's falling it back a bit. It's a bit of a surprise.
It's wide again. Christian will be for sure like before, like the race before. Race decided at the last lap, I think.
Well, AndrewZh at the moment, he doesn't need to get into any games with Christian MM17. I'm sure he'll be trying to do the maths in his head and work out that if he sits behind him, he'll still win the championship. But will that racer instinct in him come out and try to win the championship by winning the race? We'll have to wait and see, but so far so good for the Ducati man here at Jerez.
Yeah, and Trastevere, meanwhile, he seems to be losing even more ground at the moment on these two. Well, it depends what's going to happen from now on. If AndrewZh can actually catch Christian MM17, if he tries to overtake him and whatnot, well, could find that actually Trastevere, like the proverbial shark, could smell blood in the water.
Well, you really wouldn't have wrote it at the start of the season. 6 races, double points in races 5 and 6, yet the top 3 in the championship at the moment separated by only 5 points. That really does just put a full stop on the end of how competitive this 2019 Global Series has been.
Hey, how fun is this final sector, Danilo, over Jerez? It gets talked about a hell of a lot between you guys.
Yeah, really very funny because there are Jerez is, as I told you, a very tight track, but it has always very smooth corner and very fast and flowing, so it's really fun. There are 4 corners on the right side, but the last 2 are really fast. With the real bike, it's really good to go at 200 in that corner.
200 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, yeah, and but I think they are enjoying also with the video game.
Clearly right, so getting super sideways out on the exit of turn 5 is Christian MM17, all the way breaking down into, well, what was formerly called the dry sack corner. AndrewZh does seem to be getting a bit closer, Jack, but not quite on his tail just yet.
Well, I'm not sure if he's just playing a waiting game at the moment, because as we said, he doesn't need to make a move. He can follow him home, finish inside the top 2 for the 5th time this season, and that's why he's leading the championship, that consistency right there. But he can't fall into his own trap, because Trastevere, you can see the gaps on the left-hand side of your screen. He's just starting to chip away bit by bit. Meanwhile, Wimper's crashed out of it.
Whoa! Christian MM17 getting a bit of a rear-end action then from the Ducati, who probably wasn't expecting any of that. Well, that was pretty close, wasn't it? You don't want to be touching the rear wheel. You know exactly how dangerous that could be, touching your front wheels of someone else's rear.
Yeah, we were thinking about the race was flowing in the last lap, but at the end, Andrew made a move, and in that corner is quite difficult to pass, but for sure now Christian and MM knows that Andrew is quite angry.
Wouldn't you be? Wouldn't you be? He wants that championship win, out with a race win on top. He was a bit wide into turn 2 there. Christian MM17 just keeping it a bit neater and tidier perhaps. But look at that. Has Trastevere, he's managed to pull in a 10th on them, but, well, it depends on whether they make any more audacious moves, I suppose.
We're at half race distance, so he's still got plenty of time. Meanwhile, you can see on your screen there, Christian MM17 and AndrewZh. Danilo said he looks angry. He looks the absolute definition of cool, calm and composed at the moment. You wouldn't think that he's 5 laps away from winning his first ever MotoGP eSport Championship. At the moment, it's all going to plan for the Ducati man.
These guys don't even blink. Do you actually blink when you're on the bike? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't understand really, but I think I have like a fish face, and when I'm riding, it's quite strange because we only see when we have clear visor, but for sure we have. Yeah, like the face they have, they got these riders because I think the focus is really high.
You can see the different riding styles there as well. Christian MM17 was feeling every corner, swaying from left to right, whereas AndrewZh was like a statue in his chair.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at this. Looks like a real high-speed game of chess as AndrewZh looks to be going quite wide there on the exit of that one. Trastevere, he's maybe lost a bit of ground to the overall leader, but so has AndrewZh. Yeah, Trastevere now a single second as they come across the line, back from your overall leader in this race, Christian MM17.
In terms of tyre consumption at Jerez, Danilo, how much of a part does it play?
Yeah, Jerez, as I told you, got very tight corners, but also like this one, turn 4, it's really demanding for the tires. Also this turn 5, because there are many fast corners in acceleration, so it's always really demanding, Jerez. Even if the speeds are not so high, but the apex speed in some corners are really high, so it's really demanding. This is turn 6, it's tight, but the next 2 corners, this one, 7 and 8, are also very demanding, always on the left side, so Jerez is really a complete track and very difficult.
And we can already see some of the guys just starting to have a little bit of movement on the rear. The laps are ticking away. We're getting into the territory now where the guys that have looked after the tyres best are going to come into their own.
Yeah, really getting into the latter stages now. I mean, it's not been completely as action-packed as we were expecting before, but I wonder how many of these guys, just thinking of that championship, AndrewZh, was he scared by that moment that he had with Christian MM17? Does he know that he's got the championship wrapped up if he finishes in this second place? And look at Trastevere, that braking manoeuvre there looks so strong on the brakes, seems to be closing in on him a little bit as well.
So as things stand then, you can see that live championship picture. AndrewZh would win it by only 2 points ahead of Trastevere, who for the first time in MotoGP eSport history won't be standing on the top step of the championship podium in about 20 minutes' time.
I'll tell you what, Jack, I just saw Christian MM17 overstep the track limits there on the exit of turn 1 and on the run down towards turn 2. Can't be doing that too many times, but he did just set a pretty fast lap as well. But look at this, AndrewZh, are we seeing a comeback on?
Looking good at the moment, and again you can see the rear wheel of Christian MM17 trying its best to spit him over the top. Just about held on to it though, was able to hold on to his drive as well. You've already mentioned, Dino, how vital that turn 5 is to get the run down the hill as well. As soon as the tyres start to go, I'm sure that's where the drive is completely lost.
Yeah, it's very difficult, the acceleration in that part, because the corner is very long, and you have to really calibrate the acceleration. Christian MM now is a little bit closer to Andrew. Trastevere lost a bit again, but yeah, we enter now. I think 2 laps to go. Will be tough.
Yeah, very tough indeed. This eSports World Championship on the line. The BMW, of course, they can all that is up for grabs between these 3 riders there. Real shame that Oana H crashed out, and of course he was only 2 points outside of still being in contention coming into this race after his result in Phillip Island. So the 3-horse race, Trastevere. Well, the fight isn't over yet. We got how many laps to go? 3 laps to go at the moment.
Let's have a look at one of these highlights then.
This is a mistake that he made. That all too easily done, I suppose.
That could be that then. That is a huge mistake. Look at the advantage that AndrewZh has now. Over 2 seconds with just 2.5 laps remaining. Surely, is it the time that we start saying that it's his to lose?
How quickly can you get over a mistake like that, Danilo, and make a comeback?
Now the problem is that Andrew can manage, because I think he knows that Trastevere did a mistake. He's now, I think, Andrew for sure is in a good place, because he can manage, even if I think he wants to win the race. But now Trastevere, I think, is over for the championship.
Yeah, 2.7 seconds back now. Could it well be a done deal? But we've just seen how quickly it can all change. We saw that again, of course, with both Christian MM17 and Adrian DP26 back in Phillip Island as well. It is not over until the fat lady sings, or, well, Jack up a yard and sends him across the line saying who won.
Certainly is, and I'm sure, Danilo, that you were probably hoping that your memorable MotoGP win this year at Mugello was a little bit calmer, something a little bit like this. You had to work a bit harder for yours.
Yeah, but just because the race is longer. It's just 23 laps. Our race is 10. Yeah, I think Trastevere now is a little bit in trouble with the tires. Adrian is getting closer, but also, yeah, just half a second between Christian and Andrew, the first two riders. We'll see, just less than 2 laps to go. We'll see if Andrew tries to make a move, but I suggest to think about the championship in this moment.
Yeah, us too, and the BMW. Why wouldn't you want that? But as we're looking at, it seems then the fight for the final podium spot then could cause a late upset then, could Adrian DP26, and why not indeed? Why not get a podium? A bit of glory to round off the season. AndrewZh just holding firm around about between 3 and 4 tenths, just sitting there very comfortably, maybe wondering if Christian MM17 will make a mistake. But I tell you what, it does look like he's getting ever closer still. That gap seems to be coming down in that part of the circuit, Jack.
Yeah, it's starting to tick away now. We're into the moments that matter. Just 1.5 laps remaining in this final MotoGP eSport race of 2019. And it's AndrewZh's to lose. He's 2 points clear of Trastevere, who himself is now over 3 seconds adrift. He's going to have to come up with the best final lap of his eSport career if he's to try and salvage it.
Yeah, but as you were saying, with the competitiveness of this series, it doesn't look likely. That's a 3-second gap he's got to pull down. Well, 2.5 seconds at least. It just does not seem possible. He's got to rely on AndrewZh maybe getting a little bit greedy, going for the win in the race as well as the championship, and maybe forcing himself into a mistake. But I've got to say, looks unlikely as we come on the home straight. It's in the final lap time for these guys. Who will take the win? Who will take the championship? One more lap before we find out.
Well, at the moment, it looks like AndrewZh has taken Danilo's advice. He's just backed off of the rear wheel of Christian MM17. The gap was 0.5 seconds. That's now gone up to 0.6 of a second. Meanwhile, Trastevere still 3.2 adrift. There is AndrewZh, just half a lap away now from his first MotoGP eSport Championship. Not that you could tell.
No, absolutely not. Looks cool as a cucumber. What were you like on the final lap of Mugello this year? Not like that.
No, I think Andrew, took my advice. Also because in Jerez it's really difficult to overtake. We haven't seen, I think, one overtake in this race, because the race was very difficult, and especially Christian MM didn't make any mistake. It's incredible. His riding was perfect.
We're almost discounting Christian MM17 at the front of the race. It's been a faultless race so far from the Suzuki man. He looks to be on course for win number 2 of the season, but it's not going to be enough to be crowned champion in 2019. We're into the final sector. AndrewZh, it's all his.
Yeah, it seems so. Just a few more corners to navigate safely. It is his. He doesn't have to do any more. He doesn't need to win in the race. All he needs to do is finish in second place. The championship is his. The BMW is his. Jack, take us through the final corner.
Into the final corner. The last time that we're through it in this 2019 MotoGP Sport Championship. Stand and salute your champion, AndrewZh.
Andrew, I'm opening stand here. Okay, that's cool. Okay.
Wow, emotional scenes. Very emotional scenes there. There is the champion then, AndrewZh. He's down with Gav as he tries to compose himself. Hopefully we'll get a word with him soon. That was absolutely awesome.
What a championship.
Oh, that was absolutely brilliant. Composed right to the end there. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2019 MotoGP eSports champion, AndrewZh. How do you feel?
I'm the best happy person in the world now. This is the best day of my life. And nothing. I use head for both races. And to do some points was the most important thing. And I did it.
How aware were you of Trastevere behind you, how far he was behind?
Yes, I have a lot of pressure, and when I saw that Trastevere did some errors, I used that, and I was stay behind Christian for the winning of the championship.
And you've got the whole Ducati team in here. I've just seen Paolo Giamatti. Look how happy they all are down there. What does that mean to you, to see them all here supporting you?
Yes, it's a fantastic team, my favorite team. I'm of Bologna, I'm living Bologna, and I have the Ducati from 10 minutes from my home, so it was a dream.
Andrew, congratulations to you. 10-minute drive is going to be a lot quicker now because I want you to go and join Amy. Come on, make your way down here and go and join Amy down to collect your car.
Andrew, I am ready and waiting to take you to your fabulous BMW 135i and hear from BMW M's Head of Corporation MotoGP. We have Vladimir Bistroboda to hand over the keys. What do you think of it? It's absolutely stunning. That's yours. Oh, Joey's getting emotional. Oh, Andrew, congratulations. Vladimir, please, will you come and do the honours of handing over the keys for us? We'll just let him squeeze on through.
Congrats, my friend. Good job.
Give it up one more time, ladies and gentlemen. What a fabulous champion he's been.
That was a great.
Andrew, I think we need to literally see you take your first seat in your brand new car. We'll just allow them to take a couple of photos there, and then when you're ready, we will see you take your very first, not spin, but seat at least in the car. Andrew, sorry to interrupt you. Go and take a seat. Go and see how it feels.
Is it open?
It should be open. It's yours. Stunning. Whilst Andrew really gets a feel for the car he's now going to be driving, let's take a look at the fabulous final highlights of 2019. Gav, he's been outstanding this year. I mean, he was on the podium for the last time in 2018, and finally he has his very first eSport World Championship.
Yeah, he does. AndrewZh is our champion this year. I think, if we can, as he enjoys his first sit in the car, as you said, I think we need to take a look at some of the highlights of that final race. It wasn't one of those that was a classic, Matt and Jack, but do you know what? He rode composed there towards the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did. And I tell you what, it's a good thing that he was quicker out on circuit than he was getting into that car.
I know. Well, who'd have thought he'd need actually a bit more instruction to get in his brand new BMW, that's for sure. A bit overwhelmed with emotion, clearly. Danilo, that was awesome.
Yeah. Well, what an emotion. I never won a car riding a normal bike. But I'm really happy for him. He's from Bologna, like our factory, riding for Ducati. So yeah, I think it's a big emotion. I have no words for describe it.
Hey, there's still time yet for you to win a car, but let's have a look at the highlights from that final race of 2019. And for the 6th time this season, in fact, no, tear up the script for the first time this season. A man that didn't start from pole position went on to take the race victory. Christian MM17 with a lightning start from second on the grid, took the whole shot, and despite AndrewZh looking for a move up the inside at the second corner, he managed to hold on. Meanwhile, Juan NH crashed out of contention of a top 5 finish aboard the KTM, but from then on in, it was all about Christian MM17 demanding the pace and demanding the most out of his fellow championship rivals behind him.
This was the moment, though, that Trastevere was still well in touch of the world title. But as AndrewZh got a bit closer to Christian MM17, we did wonder, would he be tempted by a race win as well to round out the championship? That was the moment that took Wimp out of any sort of contention. And this could have even decided the MotoGP eSports World Series, but both stayed on, fortunately.
Fortunately, Danilo, that wasn't a race-defining moment. That was right there. As Trastevere ran wide, he was on the tails of AndrewZh, applying the pressure, but that mistake saw him drift over 2 seconds backwards, and AndrewZh kept his cool, brought it home just behind Christian MM17 to eventually take the championship by just 2 points. You could not have written it. As close as can be, and just look what it means to the 18-year-old from Bologna.
Well, here are the final results then. Christian MM17, he took the win from AndrewZh and Trastevere in third. There was a penalty for Adrian DP26, meaning he was bumped down into 4th place. Bomber 45, a good finish for him at the end of the season there from Eligos 555. Moe 7th there from Juan NH, who recovered from that first lap crash. Bjorka was 9th from Wimp, Moreira and Mr. TFTW, not replicating the sort of form we saw in Phillip Island, but a respectful finish nonetheless.
What a journey it's been for the Australian. What a journey it has been, full stop, in the 2019 MotoGP eSport Championship. Our thanks to Danilo Petrucci for joining us for that final race of the season. But I think that Danilo wants to watch his man jump onto the top step of the podium. Amy Gav, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Jack. What a moment, isn't it, to have Danilo Petrucci here as well. We just need to run through the final standings, don't we, of that championship. Can you believe we've had 6 different races at our 3 Global Series events, and just 5 points have separated the top 3 in the championship? In the end, AndrewZh has taken it 2 points ahead of his compatriot Trastevere. Christian and MM then, with that victory, something had happened on that last lap. He could well have run out as champion, just 5 behind from AndrewZh in the end. Juan NH in the end taking 4th place ahead of Christian's brother Adrian DP26, with Wimp in 6th doing the Belgians proud. Eligos 7th in the championship. Moe, fantastic rookie season for the Indonesian to finish in 8th place ahead of Bomber 45. Moreira all the way from Brazil did himself proud with a podium early on. Bjorka was in 11th, and all the way from Australia, well, I know he's had a fantastic time being involved, was Mr. TFTW. But as we mentioned, we are going to have a podium ceremony for our top 3 in the eSports Championship. But to hand out the prizes, I think I need to welcome up onto stage the CEO of Dorna Sports. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Carmelo Espeleta.
Carmelo, it's great to see you join us here up on the eSports stage once again. And I remember being up here with you this time last year and asking you, can MotoGP eSports get any bigger? And boy, did it. The series really expanded this year and to great success.
Yeah, yes, it's true. Good night, everybody. Well, it's a surprise. I'm not expert in these kind of things, and I am surprised how good they are, but honestly, the battle was really fantastic, and it's as the big championship, they are Spanish and Italian battling for everything. Then I hope other people will come and achieve the best positions. But this is something very, very amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carmelo. We want you to stay up here now, if you may, and hand out the trophies, which I think, Gav, we're about ready for.
Yeah, I think we are. We've got our top 3 in the championship, and in 3rd place this year. He won that final round of the championship. He won early on in the season too. In the end, just missing out by 5 points, but brilliant season all the way round. Riding the Suzuki, let's have a massive round of applause for the home rider on the podium, Christian MM17. So, Mr. Espeleta, if you would like to hand out the medal to Christian. Get that medal round your neck, Christian. Yeah, you can take the box as well. Take it all home with you. Not only do you get a medal, you get a free box in for the equation. Ladies and gentlemen, Christian 11-17, third place in eSports in 2019.
Second tonight, but a two-time MotoGP eSport world champion. He really set the precedent. Didn't quite make it onto the top step tonight, but nonetheless, Trastevere, you have been fabulous. Congratulations to you. Let's hear it for Trastevere.
Go on. There you are, Trastevere. Unfortunately wasn't to be, took victory in that first race tonight, didn't he? But it was his compatriot who was composed when the really started to hit tonight. AndrewZh is, in 2019, your MotoGP eSports world champion. Let's have a massive round of applause for AndrewZh. There he is.
Thanks, Carmelo.
Hey! So that's it from eSports in 2019 for MotoGP. Only a real roller coaster that we've had. Remember, if you have enjoyed it, get online. You could be here next year. Well done to everyone for taking part. Thank you all back home for watching. Thank you everyone for being here. And maybe we will see you up here in 2020. But for now, your eSport world champion in MotoGP in 2019 to celebrate long into the evening and for the rest of the weekend. Please give it up once more for AndrewZh.